Madam Deputy Speaker, it is a pleasure to contribute in this general debate, and there is no end of matters that I could raise today, although I think the news cycle may take over what I want to say. However, the good news is that for the Treasury bench, and I look forward to meeting the new Chancellor, is that I'm going to limit myself to only one issue of many spending requests, namely the improvement of transport in Stoke-on-Trent, Tork and Kidsgrove. The less good news, perhaps, is that for the Treasury and the Department for Transport is that the long list I have of asks might come as a bit burdensome upon them. Stoke-on-Trent has missed out for decades on the investment in transport that other areas have seen, and together with my colleagues across North Staffordshire, I want to make sure we don't lose out again. The Prime Minister has already boosted my confidence and that of some of those on the Green benches about agreeing that if HS2 is to go ahead at all, it must go ahead with a Hands-Acre link. That link is crucial to bringing HS2 services to Stoke-on-Trent, and the very thought of it has been attracting investment into the city. Now that is confirmed, HS2 opens up further opportunities for investment and also challenges in getting the local transport system across North Staffordshire into a fit state for taking full advantage of the increase in connectivity and profile that being a high-speed rail city will bring. Now, I confess that North Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent already enjoy a very good strategic transport links to the rest of the UK. The M6, the A500 and the A50 serve the city. The rail journey to London is as little as 1 hour and 30 minutes, and there are 4 international airports within an hour's drive. And this is before even HS2 is delivered. Stoke-on-Trent is ideally located to take advantage and contribute to the national economic growth. But, and there is a big but, for our contribution to national economic growth to be maximised, we require improvements in local infrastructure. We are the gatekeepers to the Northern Powerhouse. Yet I do feel that Stoke-on-Trent is treated like the ugly duckling in the Midlands engine far too often. Local transport connectivity within North Staffordshire is sadly very poor, especially at rush hour, with heavy dependency on the car. Many people struggle to get around the conurbation, and this limits access to employment opportunities. Improved local transport would support wider development in the area, unlocking sites for housing and economic regeneration, and helping to reduce congestion and tackle poor air pollution. Stoke-on-Trent is confirmed as a recipient of Transforming Cities Fund investment, but the exact scale of that investment is yet to be revealed, and I wouldn't want this House to adjourn before stating the case for major investment in and around Stoke-on-Trent. The bid for the Transforming Cities Fund is for Stoke Station to become the key transport interchange for the whole North Staffordshire conurbation. The proposals are expected to reduce journey times and congestion, create new jobs and improve accessibility and connectivity. The focus is to secure a shift from private vehicles to public transport, with Stoke Station as a main transport hub. This is the same model as other successful cities and is yet to be realised in Stoke-on-Trent because of the linear and polycentric nature of our city. We also want to invest in rail infrastructure that we've already got in the city and make better use of it. The North Staffordshire line would become the major transport corridor for movement within our city. This line, also known as the Crewe to Derby line, links 3 existing Stoke-on-Trent stations at Longton, Stoke and Longport, together with Kidsgrove in my constituency in the borough of Newcastle-under-Lyme. The Transforming City Fund bid includes much-needed improvements to our local stations, and we are ambitious about the potential for seamless public transport from rail to bus. I must quickly add that I had to write, Madam Deputy Speaker, a very angry letter to Network Rail, who have wasted millions of public's money by not doing the Access for All upgrades to Kidsgrove Station that was given back in 2015. My predecessor's predecessor had lobbied for that money, and the failure of Network Rail to deliver that important upgrade to make sure that people with mobility needs, young mothers and fathers with pushchairs and prams, are now unable to access the station in its entirety is a disgrace, and I would like to make sure that the Department for Transport work with me in ensuring that we hold Network Rail to account on such failure. The pedestrian experience also needs attention, and I'm excited about the possibilities for cycling, particularly in the context of the Prime Minister's statement earlier this week. There is plenty of capacity for increasing use at Longport Station, And if we can improve the pedestrian and cycle journey from Longport, it could substantially boost the local visitor economy. Middleport Pottery, which is again shining on our TV screens as the home of the Great Pottery Throwdown, should be a relatively short walk from Longport Station, but there are various public spaces that need to be better connected in order to achieve the optimal route. And our ambitions for local rail go beyond enhancing the local survivors of the Beechings cuts. We want to see reversals too. One Transforming City Fund has been delivered. It will be ever more evident that we need to deliver on the reopening of the Churnet Line too, from Stoke to Leek. My right honourable friend, the member for Staffordshire Moorlands, has long campaigned for this, and she is joined by all 3 MPs in Stoke-on-Trent. That means reopening a station at Milton in my constituency, and ideally one to serve Bircheshead Academy on the boundary with Stoke-on-Trent Central. Milton is a truncation of Milltown, and just as it has sadly lost its mill, it has also lost its place on the railway map. I want to bring it back. Indeed, I would love to see Milton Junction return to the rail map so that local services could go up towards Biddulph too. That could potentially mean restoring rail services to Fort Green, Smallthorne and Chell. That is a very long-term ambition, but I didn't come into politics to think small. An ambition for the Crewe Derby line is to see the return of a station at Chatterley for Tunstall. This would serve both our historic traditional coalfield communities and our up-to-the-minute Ceramics Valley Enterprise Zone and Tunstall Arrow. It can't, sadly, be a straightforward restoration of the old Chatterley Halt, because the line was moved westwards in the 1966 deviation to allow electrification. But there is a big gap between Kidsgrove and Longport stations, and the new Chatterley for Tunstall station would fill it, catalysing further economic regeneration. And again, talking of Kidsgrove Station, the promise in a little over a decade, entries and exits at Kidsgrove have boomed from 50,000 to more like 250,000, and it is imperative that everyone should enjoy the success. And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, buses. This could be a speech in itself, but I will restrict myself to repeating the pleas already made in this House by many honourable friends, the members for Stoke-on-Trent South and Stoke-on-Trent Central, for a super bus scheme in our fine city. Bus use in the Potteries has declined by more than 10% in the last year alone, with over 1 million fewer bus passenger journeys in 2018 to 2019 than there had been in 2017 to 18. Bus passenger journeys are now 9.3 million, down from over 15 million journeys recorded at the start of the decade. This is whilst traffic congestion has worsened, with consequential breaches of the World Health Organization pollution limits. New solutions are needed to make buses more attractive, so they can viably compete with the comfort and cost-effectiveness of the car. We need more routes, better buses, and the kind of bus shelters that display live information that are enjoyed here in London.